Good evening and welcome to United Real Therapy, people. I'm your host, Mr. Structure. Big up to everybody, love and light. We had a lovely, lively debate. We got our Sean in lovely California. Yay. Hey, Sean,
Yeah,
how you
like
doing?
for the first time in the last week, today has actually been a lovely day. Like it's actually a sunny day, lovely day. But like over the last week or so, it's been raining nonstop. I don't know what it's like in Manchester or in the UK, but like
Wow.
here, it's been nonstop rain. So today is sunny.
You know what? You know it's surreal because you hear about the fires and like how dry Los Angeles is, but California is so big in it for people who've
Yeah,
never been
nah,
to the
it's
US.
it's quite big. So you could basically have some parts of the state that are cold, whereas it's hot in another part. Some parts is like winter and it's snowy. Some other parts is a desert. Yeah, it's really big. It's a really big state.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yeah, one
absolutely
of the
crazy.
one of the World Cup games are going to be in San Francisco. Like I'm definitely going to
Wow,
see
wow.
that.
So how
Yeah,
far are you from there? How far are you
yeah.
from San Francisco?
20 minutes, like it's over the bridge, literally a bridge, and I'm in San Francisco. I'm thinking of
Wow.
going to the games that are in California, the
Yeah,
games
you
that
have to
are
go.
in Texas, because I think one is going to be in Houston or so. So I'd
Hmm.
like to go for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
and
need to go. Wow.
then
And
in
then
New Jersey. Um,
yeah, to go and watch World Cup football.
yeah,
That's
World Cup. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
That's amazing, man. Should be honestly, that's once a lifetime opportunity to watch World Cup football.
yeah. No, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Especially, I think the last tournament was really good. I think this tournament is going to be even better the next one. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be crazy in terms of like the atmospheres and stuff because since
Especially
you
because
know,
it's in America. Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be
because
wild. Yeah,
because so many people from all over the world, especially in the big cities, the big
correct.
urban
Yeah,
centers.
big
So
urban
many
center.
people,
It's gonna be lit. Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be great.
so many people from all over the world live in America, in the US, don't
Yep,
they? So it's going to be
yep.
very interesting. I just hope it's better than what it was. I really enjoyed 94. 94 World Cup was my first proper World Cup when I proper understood World Cup football.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
So
the good thing now is that like America as a country generally is more familiar with football, like
yeah.
or soccer, I guess like they would call it. Like so, like they're more familiar. There are a lot of young American kids like Pulisic, Tim
Hmm.
Ware. The guy I think at Leeds also is American. One defender
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Leeds is American as well. So like, and when Messi came to Inter Miami, it was a very big deal.
yeah.
Um, so I think like football is gaining a lot more traction like locally in America. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be a watched, very highly watched
Yeah.
tournament. Um,
Yeah. Big up, people. Big up. Welcome to the preview, people. Welcome to the preview. Big up, Lilas. Lilas says, a new era is coming with Jim Judas. UK government likely to reject approach by Judas Jim for public money to help fund the national north. The north that will be a new home for Manchester United. Well, he's barking up the wrong tree. It's really fascinating because Sean is in the US, and in the US, this is a regular practice.
yeah, I mean the difference is that like in the US economy, like or the US has such a large tax base. Like like as we were just saying, the cities that are here, the states that are here are very big, very densely populated. So the tax base is larger, and there's obviously more capacity for public-private partnerships. Unlike in the UK, where there's less, capacity for such a thing. Also, just politically, it's going to be a hard sell, right? Because of all the economic crisis that's going around.
Yeah, yeah. The
Once you
UK is
once
in a
you brand
recession.
it, yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're in a recession. The UK, we're in a recession at the moment. Yeah, and the
Yeah, no,
cost
I
of
mean,
living
obviously, like
crisis.
there's global like inflationary pressure, like following like the war in Ukraine, the war in Gaza as well, the impact that has had on like shipping routes and all that stuff. So yeah, there's inflation, and once you brand anything as taking money away from hardworking taxpayers, I think it was Tom that was saying it like the other day. You
Yeah.
want to take money from hardworking taxpayers and use it to fund the billionaire's pet project. Yeah, that's never gonna fly.
No, no. But let's get into it, man. We got a big jam-packed show for you tonight. We're gonna do a preview, obviously because of Jim the Judas interview yesterday. Eric Ten Hag finding himself under pressure. for the first time in terms of like what was going on at the club. And there we go. So Eric Ten Hag jobs on the threat because the way that he spoke about the style of play, and they're going to dictate the style of play. You know, Jim Radcliffe said that they're going to dictate the style of play.
Yeah, it's going to come from the top down.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting. And the question is, can the level of performance of Eric Ten Hag's team, is it sustainable? Should we question the level of performance? Should we? And why are there so many Man United players injured? That's what we're going to get into as well today. But let's kick off Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock UK time. Manchester United will take on Fulham, and they will, Fulham, who have had a bit of an indifferent season this season. Fulham, they've been a very interesting team. Yeah, they're a very good team. So me, I rate them. I mean, wow, I'm just looking at it now. Like the fixtures, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 3 o'clock kickoffs. That's unusual for the Premier League. 3 o'clock kickoffs. Yeah. Arsenal Newcastle is the night game on Saturday night. That's going to be very interesting. That's going to be very interesting after what happened to Arsenal. But yeah, Manchester United and Fulham, we beat them, if I'm not mistaken, this season. We went there and we beat them 1-0, and I think it was a very dire game. It was a horrific game to watch, to be fair. Let's be right, people. You know what I mean? It was an horrific game to watch and to see what the hell is happening. Yeah, big up Lilas. Yeah, that penalty miss. The penalty miss of Roberto. But he carried Italy to the final. Just a little bit of side note, people, for the 94 World Cup. Find some clips on YouTube. Romania and Bulgaria were the shocks of that tournament. They were amazing. But anyway,
94. That was Roberto Baggio with ponytail.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, he missed it, but he was amazing against. He was amazing in the games. I think it was against Bulgaria. He was absolutely amazing. It was an amazing tournament. I really enjoyed that World Cup. My proper first one to really soak in. I remember I was just watching game after game and just being enthralled by it. Like I said, the memories of Romania and Bulgaria will forever be etched in my mind about that World Cup. It was about them for me.
94.
Yeah, 94. Yeah.
But has there ever been? And I know this might be recency bias, right? But has there ever been a World Cup final as good as the Argentina versus France final last year?
No, not that I remember.
Like,
Not that I remember. Not that I remember. No. I mean, not in my lifetime. Anyway, in my lifetime, that was the best final. That was the best final World Cup.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It was too crazy.
And
it was a shame that I had to go to penalty.
Climax.
Yeah, they're usually very nervy and very defensive.
Yeah, that is true. It's really very anticlimactic. Yeah.
But I gotta say the cup final, World Cup final, '86, Germany against Argentina, the Maradona one. That was a good one.
That was a good final.
Yeah, that was a lot of goals.
I didn't watch it live, but yeah, I can remember watching the videos of it. Yeah, that was tight. And to be fair, 1982 as well was that the semi-final? Brazil, was that the final? Was it Germany, Italy?
Germany, Italy was the final, but the semi-final with France against
Germany. Was it Germany?
No, it was Italy. Well, Germany, France. 4-3.
Semi-final. It was a semi-final, yeah. Where the horrific foul and challenge. Horrific challenge by the goalkeeper, German goalkeeper, who took out the French player. Yeah,
Tony Schumacher.
Yeah, was that his name? Horrible Schumacher. Yeah. I'm glad they lost the final. Yeah, Italy won, didn't they? It was the game of the tournament. Apparently, it was Brazil-Italy.
Altobelli scored in the final. Altobelli.
Yeah, that run going like that.
Everybody remembered the picture.
Yeah. Big up anyway. Big up. We got full house now tonight. How are you doing, Jarvis? How was it? How was How's lovely Norway, Northern Norway?
Yeah,
How's
it's good. It's good. I'm a little bit tired today because of the late stream yesterday. I was in bed 2 o'clock in the
Oh
night.
my God, I'm so sorry about that. Jarvis, you got to say sometime. You got to go, right?
No, I'm okay.
Sorry,
It's okay.
Jarvis. I'm sorry, right? Tonight, we're not going to keep you very, very long, I promise you.
No, I can't do 2 hours and 15 minutes tonight.
No, you
Let's keep it
cannot.
to
Jarvis.
1 hour, 30 minutes. That's
No.
okay.
No, we're going to straight into the preview. We're just going to be more straightforward tonight. We're not debating the cause of Manchester United and bloody Glazers. Mumbai, how you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Can't complain. Yeah, man.
Okay, well, we missed a hell of a show last night. Jarvis, we kept him up for 2 hours, screaming match. No problem. We reloaded.
Oh, that's what Ineos will do to you.
Exactly. But big up. But yeah, we're here to talk about Fulham, Manchester United, and they're saying that the corresponding fixture in London was one of the worst games.
I don't know if you can hear it. Somebody's got something on in the background.
Sean, have you got the radio on?
It's gone now.
Yeah, it's got the radio on. I think he's traveling. I think he might be in the car. He might be driving.
Mm.
Yeah,
I am. Yeah, well, apologies here. I'll meet up with him.
It's all good, man. Yeah, it's not, no worries. Big up Bombay talking about bloody. He's got the cheek to talk about background noise. Bloody hell. He's usually having a bath.
Well, man, we're not all got 10,000 YouTube followers. Rolling in it now, Dino. He doesn't have time for me anymore. He's moved on to bigger and better things.
Wow, 10,000. We're getting people on. YouTube's on subscribing people, my friend. Getting that bad shadow ban silence. But anyway, let's get into it. We're going to keep this long. So I'm talking about the Fulham corresponding fixture was a horrendous game. So the bit of magic by Bruno in the last 9 minutes. So it was a very tight game. I was actually so disappointed with them, actually. They were toothless. And we couldn't really genuinely create anything properly. So, but since then, a lot has happened. Since then, they've been going on amazing runs. They smashed a couple of teams 5-0. Didn't they get they scored, I think, a couple of times they scored 5 or more, 4 or more goals. So they've become full of goals. They've got, I don't know if he's Brazilian or who he is, but the guy, the young mixed heritage kid.
Yeah, it's like a Latin American, fiesta in their attack. Like Pereira, Willian, some guy on the right, and their striker.
Well, the main striker, the guy who's been on form lately, is I don't know him. I don't know his name. Somebody in the chat, please put me his name. He's basically been scoring goals for them. And then they've also got, obviously, the Mexican goal striker, who obviously went from
Raul Jimenez.
Raul Jimenez. But they've got this other young striker who's banging in goals. So it's really, really fascinating to see how that develops in the game. Because he's been scoring goals, even games where they've been losing. But they're a bit indifferent. But just to give a bit of context about who they are, how they play. Fulham, they actually play similar to Manchester United in terms of they like to attack. They like to go out wide. Well, in terms of they like to play on a transition. They set traps for teams and they like to play on a transition. So they're very direct, getting to goal. They don't mess about. They win the ball and they go direct to goal. But what is really fascinating is that they cross the ball. And I think last season it was only City and Liverpool who crossed the ball more, right? So one of the biggest things that what happens that they look to strike and they regain the ball or just outside or the final third region, showing good ability on these shots. They're very good at taking shots because they've got players who can shoot with good accuracy. They still look to attack in a transition, wide areas, especially if dangerous spaces is ahead of them. So that is what they are as a team. Like I said, they had only Liverpool and City. But in terms of sharp, direct attacks with the balls won, Fulham's 46 direct attacks this season are only third to Liverpool and Manchester United. So they're not an easy team to play against. They've got firepower. They have got people who can punish you, who can put the ball at the back of the net. That's what they do have. That is what they do have.
think you have a super chat here from Adewale Adeleke.
Yeah, big up Adewale.
Adibale.
Anthony Robson kid have just half decent. Yeah, I saw him get ripped apart though. I saw it when they played Wolves. Was it Wolves that beat them the other day? They got ripped apart. I think it was Neto ripped him apart, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be very interesting.
I mean, Neto can do that, you know, to a lot of people.
Yeah, but honestly, it was embarrassing. And I'm not seeing him get ripped apart like that, but it was embarrassing. But one thing about him, he's always available and he's got energy to go up and down. I think he's a better attacker than he is defending. But he's quite tall for a left back, isn't he? He's very, very tall for a left back. He's an American international. He's a US international, if I'm not mistaken. Adewale said, if we can replace Bruno with somebody who can actually hold up to the ball, we would do so much better. Diaz, who plays for Real Madrid, is someone who we should look at. They're stacked in midfield, and he's better than Bruno. Yeah, I mean, it's coming out.
We already have competition for Bruno in the squad. That's what Mason Mount is supposed to be. Ideally, now that we have Kobe Mino and Casemiro settled, Mason Mount and Bruno are supposed to be keeping each other honest. I actually can't wait for Mason Mount to get back because I really want to see what he brings to the team and how, like, you know, he's different from Bruno, because I think he's a lot more responsible with the ball than Bruno is. Even though Bruno has that X factor that's, you know, many players don't have. But yeah, Adewale, don't worry, Mason Mount is there to, you know, take over if Bruno needs a rest.
Well, we're going to come to that. We're going to ask the question, why is Manchester United players getting injured? What is going on with this? Why are so many Manchester United players? And we touched on it last night, but we'll touch on it a little bit more. But in terms of, thanks for the super chat, brother. Always appreciate it. Love, yeah, 100%. Actually, stats came out about Bruno in the last couple of games where he's literally giving the ball away, like simple balls away. And because Manchester United are not a possession team, we struggle to hold possession, and he's contributing to that. He's contributing to that. So, and people are now making excuses saying that, oh, because he's super tired. No, he comes out and says, I'm the fittest player. He's always available. And I always give credit to that, because he's not a player who's always injured, but he's always available and he wants to play every game. So it's a little bit in terms of, like, to say, oh, he's burnt out now. I'm not buying that, because he's a very, very fit in terms of athlete. But for me, he's a bit disillusioned. He's lost form, and I think it's because he's confused in terms of his role in the team. I genuinely believe that. I'd love to know what you guys think. Big up Adewale. Mason Mount is not good enough to get United back to winning league titles. No, he's not. I don't think any of these players are good enough to be fair. Adewale, I don't know if anybody's good enough to take Manchester United.
I'd accept that about any player in Man United but Mason Mount, because after only 2 games and a handful of minutes in other games, we haven't had chance to assess him, which is why.
Well, he's not available, and he's not available.
An injury, though, doesn't mean that you pass a judgment on a player that's barely kicked a ball for you. You have to wait.
Yeah, and the idea that, like, we can sign a Premier League winning squad, it's not going to happen. Like, it's not just going to happen. Yeah, we're not going to be able to sign a Premier League winning squad. You're going to have to develop some of those players within the team. Some people are going to have to up their levels for you to get there. This isn't Real Madrid or Man City. I don't mean to disappoint, guys.
Yeah, no, I just perfectly believe that Manchester United needed a better number 10, or if you're going to have a type of player, more robust type of player than those two, who can also win the ball back a bit. And what is shameful for me is that I've seen Bruno play in a deeper role. Remember Everton, when Everton came to Old Trafford last season, I was at the game. He created so many chances playing, and he was just giving it 5 yard, getting it back, dictating the play. And I'm just like, where's that Bruno gone? Because I have seen him. Seen him do that. And it's unfortunate. But anyway, we'll come back.
I think this is one of those things that maybe we're all watching different games, because the last game I saw where we missed like 5 one-on-one chances, a lot of our gameplay goes through Bruno. Like, Bruno is literally the link between our defense and our attack. Now, he's wasteful with the ball, definitely. But that comes with the territory. Like, I don't know why we're still complaining about Bruno's wastefulness today, as in right now. Like, that's baked in. It's priced in, it's baked in.
No, it's not baked in. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry, Sean. Listen, Sean, let me explain. Big up Esky. Esky, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Esky?
I'm good.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to
Yes,
have you here,
Esky.
brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
up
all,
to you.
yeah, sir.
The thing, listen, if Bruno was basically, if Manchester United were dictating games and holding possession, and Manchester United were literally pinning teams back, and Bruno Fernandes was trying to unlock a defense, specifically a defense that has sat back. They've got two backs of four. They're boxed in their own area. And if he's giving the ball away, then I would come out anywhere and defend Bruno, because there you need players who are going to take risks, to try to unlock it. And it shows you in the stats, like Kevin De Bruyne back in the day when Messi was playing for Barcelona. Barcelona was giving the ball away a lot, because majority of those times, Man City and that Barcelona team will come up against teams who sit back against them in a very deep, low block. So they will try to basically unlock that. But I'm sorry, I do not. When now, the latest stats that I saw, I forgot, I didn't save it, but I saw the stats. Bruno now is giving away balls that are like 5-yard, 10-yard passes across. That's what he's doing. And a lot of his supporters are all now saying, oh, he's fatigued. No, miss me out with that. He wants to play every game. And at this moment in time, his form is dreadful. I'm telling you, his form is dreadful. And what happens is, well, Sean, at this moment in time, because we're so open with this 3-1-6 formation, when he gives the ball away, positionally, we're nowhere. So then we get transition done, and we look so lopsided. And I coined it after the game, after the last game. I said the basketballification of Ten Hag style of football is disgraceful. But let's go into it quickly. But let me just get this quickly, Adewale. Big up Adewale, I appreciate your super chats, bro. Another reason why United 10 seasons without a league, because our fans will always give somebody a chance. We have seen Mount at Chelsea. That's the best we're going to get. He's not good enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, you know what? For me, I think that's a bit harsh, because I don't think anybody in the squad is good enough to Manchester United bring back anywhere. But to me, have we bought a player that has got severe injury-prone problems? How the hell did he pass the flipping fitness to forget this, to sign for Manchester United? Where is he? It's a fucking mystery. And people kept telling me that he's not injured. People are telling me he's not injured. So it's unbelievable, honestly. Some people I respect are telling me he's not injured already. He's just, manager doesn't want to play him. So it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. But I want to get it to Fulham. So Fulham, very good on the transition. They're a bit of they're a team that on their day when they're good, they turn up. They basically turn up, and they turn up in a way that they've got players who can hurt you. They're very dangerous. Play on the transition. They're very direct. Their players take a lot of shots. So it's not about I'm going to be sleeping on. I think the worst I've ever seen them play was the corresponding fixture where they were toothless. They couldn't even get past the halfway line. They couldn't even string a couple of passes together. And we were not amazing. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens on Saturday, which is a traditional 3 o'clock game kickoff. And I'm thinking it could be a banana skin. This could be a banana skin. I mean, I'm going to have to have a look at the table. Let me just get to Adewale. Adewale says, Nuruddin, United fans like Bruno because he gets GA and tries hard. He's not the kind of player who plays for the team and wins plays for the moment. The stats himself, I've seen this for years. Yeah, 100%. Listen, I know that to me, I'm not asked about GA. I'm going to ask about how you play in the game. I'm not asked about individual GA. I just genuinely don't think, deep down, he doesn't fit into the Ten Hag system. And that's why Ten Hag, any opportunity he gets, he puts him out on the wide. He don't trust him with the ball. So, and to me, what frustrates me about Bruno is his indiscipline. But I'm going to just put the Bruno thing aside and talk about the game. Manchester United is a banana skin. And 8 times this season, Manchester United have faced 22 shots or more in a game. Never been back before. Never. Not seen that before. Whether home or away, we've been exposed because of this 3-1-6 formation, which Bruno is actually guilty. as anybody is giving the ball away. I'm not saying it's all Bruno. Rashford is at it. Garnacho is at it. The only one who really holds the ball a bit more out of our forward players is the man of the moment, Rasmus. So it's going to be very interesting. This is a banana skin. So this is the game we play before we go to, if I'm not mistaken, before we go to we
City.
play. So yeah, in the league before we go to the Etihad. So I'll start with you, Bombay. What do you think? Well, how do you give our chances tomorrow? Obviously, we don't know what the press conference, what if players are back from injury or anything. But what do you think about Manchester United chances? And do you think that the level of performance do we need to, should we question the level of performance, or should we just focus on the results?
No, we have to question the performances as well. That's part of the mandate until the end of the season. I'm not here to just accept results in the second season, because now the excuses are gone. They're valid. I'm not going to say they're not. How valid is up to each person to decide, but we certainly have missed players, and it's evident that Martinez makes a huge difference. Luke Shaw, like him or not, he makes a big difference to the team. Casemiro has played his part and made a difference. So these players are important for us. So you have to analyze and expect that we are going to improve as the season progresses and start to play better football. How much better? I have to be realistic. I'm not expecting Manchester City and Liverpool better, but I am expecting to watch a game, be entertained, and win with a little bit of ream about it. Not just fight for our lives, stumble over the line with moments. I'll accept that sometimes, but I won't accept that alone. That's unacceptable. So I think Fulham are a team that have been fluctuating in terms of what they've been giving the Premier League and what they've been producing. They've had good spells in the season where they've looked like they could do a little bit of a Brighton, a little bit of a, like a Bournemouth had a spell, Forest, that kind of thing. They're going through a little bit of a problematic period. They're conceding a lot of goals, some poor results as well. Drew at Everton, Burnley, they drew with them. They've had a few lashings. They can score, but they do concede. And we're going into a game against them. We're playing better. Momentum is on our side. We've got the home crowd, the home advantage, and they're missing their best player, arguably their best player. Paulina's out. Raul is out as well, their striker that they brought from Wolves. So this is a game again. We have to treat it, as Eric Ten Hag keeps reiterating, as a cup final. The key word for Manchester United is be professional in the job that you're doing. Don't crumble. Don't let your heads go. We're actually playing well in all the games that I've seen, but I think we're causing our own downfalls. We're allowing teams back in the game unnecessarily. We should have been out of sight. At Villa, we had 4 one-on-ones. You score one of those, we have a different outcome here. You have to take those chances in these games. They are golden opportunities that fell to Rashford, Garnacho, Bruno. Maybe Hoyland had one as well. They're golden opportunities. You've got to put them away. And if you do a different game against Wolves, that should have been finished after 60 minutes. That game should have been done. Good night. But we let them back in it. West Ham, there were moments of scare moments, but it was professional. Well, heads didn't go, kept the ball. We understand that we're winning. Recycle, choose your moments, transition correctly. And that's what I want to see against Fulham. I think we can win this game. And just to move on to Bruno, just very briefly. I think there's Kevin De Bruyne is, to me, the best player in the Premier League, has been for a long time, and probably the best midfielder on earth. He was asked to compare Maddison, Odegaard, and Bruno, and this was 5 months ago. He puts Bruno at the top of the pack. He said he's a creative machine, and creativity has a lot of facets to it. It's not just what people think. Bruno, for me, is a player that is very good at buying fouls. The thing that he gets criticised for, I actually like. Putting pressure on the referees, falling over, buying fouls. It gives you the breathing room. Without Bruno, there is no creativity in the Manchester United team. Eriksen is not going to do what Bruno does for you. He's having a bit of a bad time, a bit of a bad form. But when you look at him for Portugal, he's outstanding. When you look at him under Ten Hag last season, he was excellent. And what I have seen, sometimes form is form. I was talking about selling Rashford a few weeks ago. People are going nuts. Same people in the comments now that have gone quiet were talking about Højlund's terrible. He's rubbish. Get him out. Talking about selling this and that. But you have to understand, form is form, but class is permanent. He is Manchester United's creative spark. Those balls that they love to run onto, the Rashfords of this world, the Garnachos, the Antonys, the Sanchos, the Martials, the Højlunds, they all come from Bruno. He's the one that plays that first time ball straight away when the game is difficult. He's the one that plays between the lines. I think everybody's just throwing all that away all of a sudden. And just
I'm sorry.
and he's the new
Mbaye,
McTominay.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
don't be
That's too
sorry.
much
Let
prop.
me just
I'm sorry.
give you
That's
my
too much prop.
piece.
Listen,
You don't
there's a
have
lot
to
of us
agree
here
with it.
tonight. We don't
You
want to
don't
have a
have to
long
agree with
show.
it.
No, I don't have to agree with that. I do not agree with it.
Yeah,
What
that's
you're
fine.
doing is a
But
prop.
that's my position.
Bruno is a very indisciplined footballer. He jumps out, he costs Manchester United goals, and he can't keep the fucking ball. That's a fact. That's been his current form. That's been his
but
current
Nuruddin,
form.
that isn't all there
That's
is
his
to Bruno.
form.
There's
I
more to
understand
Bruno
that's
than
his
what you're
form.
saying.
No,
Like,
that's what it's been this season. I'm sorry to say, guys.
Yeah, but the season has been like that for many of our players, and he's no exception to the rule. But when we're talking about what is he able to do, what is the quality that we've seen? Like Anthony, we've not seen more than a 6 and a 7. But
This is
Bruno,
Bruno's opportunity in the 93rd minute against Luton, and he chose to shoot from that position, and we lost the ball.
Yeah,
And they had one big chance at the end of the game, so we could have lost all points.
Do you want me to show you the Garnacho and the Rashford and the Højlund ones?
Yeah, but you see, this is the 93rd minute. He's the captain. He's the experienced players. You see, you have Dallo, you have Garnacho, you have Mainu there, you have Rashford there. A lot of players are available for him to just recycle the ball, but he chose to shoot, and he gave an opportunity to Luton, so we could have lost 2 points because of him.
I think
it's about his decision making. He's forcing everything to try to play the hero ball. He's forcing to be. He tries to be the leader, and it takes too much responsibility, and it hinders us. We have had a couple of good games without Bruno this season, where we actually looks like a team. We function as a team. So I'm not 100% agreeing with everything you say about Bruno, but he's a good player, yes, and he's our creative spark. That's true.
But Jarvis, you think we're better off without Bruno?
I mean, look,
I think so, yeah.
I think Sean, there will be people that make that argument, and they're free to. But if we're looking at a body of work of Bruno since he's been at Manchester United, to me, we have an issue with form, and we can label every player in that team.
All season, then. He's been off form all season. I just don't think he fits into the system. I think it's a system thing. I genuinely believe it's a system thing. He does not fit into the system.
Well, I think, look, to be fair to the players now and bring the manager back into the fray just a little bit, if you want to say it's a system thing, we've played a lot of games, and I'm back on board because of the last 4 or 5 games.
Results,
prior to that,
results.
I'm just saying.
Be honest. It's the result. It's the results,
bro. You have to respect.
You've not played well.
You've
not dominated one game.
No, I don't want to dominate that game just yet. That's for me.
No, we've not dominated one game.
It's too unfair.
You're back on side. You're back on side because of the poor results.
No, that's not enough. I've just told you 2 things. One, we have to play better. I'm looking for improvement in performance.
If I can just give my own.
Sean, just 1 second. I'm looking for improvement in performance, bro. But likewise, if you want to look at the system, then that system has affected the entire team because the quality of play has been abysmal for the entirety of the season. Up until the last 5 games, we are resurgent, not with phenomenal football, but certainly improvements across the board, which is why you're getting an element of results, which is why your forward line is getting chances, which is why your striker is scoring goals and the XG's gone up, which is why the defense is a little bit more resilient. So you have to look at you have to look at the increments of improvement from back to middle to front. I can't just say go from what I've been seeing for the whole season to a stunning team.
Right, Bombay, hold it there.
So I think,
hold it there because there's too many of us tonight and we don't want to keep this late. So quickly, I'll go to Eski. Eski, what are you looking forward to? You know, you've seen Fulham. You've seen what they're about. You've seen some of the goals. What are you looking forward to, bro? Big up to you, though.
Yeah, safe. Can you hear me? It's all right.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah. I just got this thing up now. It's the last form guide. So everyone in the Premier League, the last 6 games. So obviously they beat Arsenal 2-1, lost to Liverpool, drew with Everton and Burnley back-to-back, beat Bournemouth and lost to Villa 2-1. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. You know, beating Arsenal's not easy. Losing to Chelsea's a an odd one, but it doesn't look too bad. The goal difference is +1 over the last 6 games. For me, they can give anyone a test. I mean, well, this is the Premier League, innit? It doesn't really matter. But what I wanted to say was with I'll say with Fulham actually. Yeah, I think we'll get it done. We're going to concede. We've conceded in every game. You can put the house on United to concede every game, at least 1 goal in it. It's fine. It's a given, right? But what I want to go back to is the whole Bruno thing. It's like Jarvis pointed out that one still image there, which he is correct about. Like Bruno made a wrong decision there. That's 1 second in the game, and that was the 93rd minute. I mean, it's very easy to nitpick things when we're looking at still. It's like VAR. You look at a still image of VAR. It's there like it can make things look thingy. I'm saying, fatigued. Okay, fair enough. But in the 93rd minute, he's made one mistake. Okay, it led to a big chance, but many players do that. I think it's the same. I think how the media scrutinize Man United. I think us as fans scrutinize our own players over the top as well a little bit. I think we're all talking about, Nuruddin says 20 shots conceded a game. I don't know if any of you saw Andy Cole's interview today he did with Sky Sports. Big up Andy Cole, actually. He beat some mental health issues and he's doing all right now doing interviews and stuff. But Andy Cole was talking about, look at the games today. Look how people view it online and pundits, right? Or even us as fans. It's all stats-based. It's all, we conceded 20 shots here. He's won aerial duels here. It's there like, none of this shit really matters. None of it really matters because stats, you can use a stat to skew your argument as much as you want. So I could say Nuruddin, last season, for example, Bruno's created the most chances in the Premier League. I wouldn't personally use that stat. Do you know why? Because what is a chance? Is that a half chance?
No, because he doesn't take into context. He doesn't take into context what a chance is. Is it a clear chance? Is it a last pass?
So
the
same.
Pass? Is it a third pass?
Right.
Did he lay it on the plate for somebody?
Exactly. Right. So with that same breath.
Eski, I'm not big on stats either, but my eye test don't. My eyes don't fail me.
No, but that's what I say, Nuruddin. No, that's what I say. No, it's not about Bruno.
Not fail me.
Nuruddin, my point's not about Bruno, innit? I just wanted to make that point clear. So you say stats are everything, 100%. When you also say in the same breath, United concede 20 shots in these games, are you personally counting these shots? Or have you been told that number? Be honest. You've been told the number, haven't you? Because you're not watching the game saying, oh, 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z. You look at it and you think, has Onana been troubled today?
No, Eski.
That's true. It's a fact.
Because, like I said, I coined the term.
Go on.
The basketball specification of Erik ten Hag's tactics and the players failing to administer how he wants to play is there for everybody to see. That's why we concede so many shots. We concede so many shots because of the way we play. Because it's a 3-1 formation, 3-1-6 formation. That's why we go up the pitch, all as a group, and in a 90-something minute, Bruno's taking a shot. It's the part of the tactics, and it's a system as well. That's why when I talk about it, I say, this football is not fucking sustainable. Because we're conceding 8 times. We're conceding, but I'm watching in a game. You see me on, I don't know, you're not on Twitter, and it's on Twitter.
No.
But I'm always tweeting, I'm like, what's going on here?
I believe you. But my point is though, even though you conceding shots and whatever, over our last 5-6 games, I've never really been threatened. That Ross Barkley one at the end, I was fucking worried in the last game. I was worried because I'm there like fucking hell, we've seen this before. But other than that, I can't really think of games over the last 6 when we've started to win where I thought, shit, we're gonna get pummeled there, or these are on here, or shit, that was a good thing by Nana.
The Villa game, they missed sitters.
Okay, all right, that's one. Right, Villa at home are ridiculous. Look at Villa this season.
But you're in the games, lads. We are in every game. We weren't in them before. We were out of them.
All right, Nuruddin. 4 months ago, if we play Villa away, we're getting battered. We are getting battered. We just are. We are getting battered if we play them in September this season, how we played, yeah? We have improved vastly. And it's not more, I'm not saying, oh, this is it. This is the be-all, end-all Man United now. In that face, I agree with you. We've improved to where we're fighting for top 4. It's a sad state of affairs, but let's be real with ourselves. We were shy early this season. You have to take progress as it comes. These results are papering over cracks.
I personally think we've just got fluky results. Let me just get these super chats. Big up. KDB is the same. It's the same man who said pass accuracy for his position doesn't matter. You know, that's what he means. He means when they camp them in because he's trying to be super creative. So I do agree with him slightly because the team's come back. He needs to unlock the door. Guys, horrible for Belgium. Belgium don't have a proper system. Pep system gets the best out of him. To be great. He's much better than Bruno, but he's another one who's overrated. Rodri and Silva more important in that system. No, I agree with that. I agree. Big up for the super chat. But
overrated.
He's one of the. Nuruddin, I've come to the conclusion that United fans don't really want to win. Okay. They want their favourites to play Bruno to beat the lower teams and try against the big teams. Our favourites getting numbers and no trophies. Well, listen, I genuinely think Manchester.
Oh, we lost the host.
Yeah, yeah, but like I just want to I want to take issue with like kind of like a Diwali's like feedback and the general what I'm hearing, like the comments here. I don't know where this idea came from that the only way to play well is to quote unquote dominate a game. Like I don't understand where that idea came from or why that is such a prevalent notion.
Pep Guardiola, bro. That's the only way to play now.
It's not because of Pep Guardiola. I'm sorry. It's not.
It is.
It's not because of Pep Guardiola. It's not.
No,
You guys think Pep Guardiola invented football? You're mistaken. I swear to God.
Yeah, let me just.
The biggest teams, the teams throughout history who have always, except for Jose Mourinho, in the big games used to go uber defensive. Now, in modern football, you have to be the performance of the better team. For me, I'm not about having possession for possession's sake. The possession has to be with a reason to go on directly to goal and to attack. Sure. So for me, in terms of dominating the game, Manchester United used to dominate. They used to dominate games. They would dominate it. Not all games, but vast parts of the season, they would dominate the football. Go ahead quickly, Sean, because I
just don't remember it. I just don't remember it that way. And as far as I'm concerned, the Man United legacy, a large part of it is that vibes, that X factor of you can never write United off because no matter what time of the game it is, we could always score. This domination stuff, like I don't understand where it's coming from. I agree with Bouma. I think it has a lot to do with Pep. Definitely. As far as I'm concerned, there are two primary schools of football. One is the Johan Cruyff, Pep, Jurgen Klopp, legacy system, Arteta, and the other one is I would say Sir Alex, Real Madrid, Mourinho style, and that's the style that I'm partial to. So when Ten Hag says he wants to play high intensity transition football, for me personally, Bruno fits right into that. Like Bruno slots perfectly into what Ten Hag says is the style of play that he wants for United, not his Ajax style of play, his United style of play. High intensity, quick transitions. Bruno is perfect for that. So Bruno is a wasteful player. He's everything that Jarvis said. He's also everything that Nuruddin said. But also, in addition to all of that, he's everything that Bouma said as well. He's a very important player. And for me, the ideal situation to be in with Bruno is to not have him be playing 20 games or all the games in the season because we don't have anybody else. The ideal situation with Bruno is to have somebody like Mason Mount, who is good quality, who can keep Bruno honest. Because none of these players, nobody's born a world-class player. Nobody wakes up, except for Mbappe or players like that. Nobody wakes up and is just born a world-class player. People improve, form helps them, playing around better players also helps them. And all that is going to play a role in improving the kind of person that Bruno Fernandes is.
Okay, Sean, listen, Sean, listen. Manchester United used to dominate games. Let's not get carried away. I want to go too quickly to Jarvis.
No. Let me just wrap up because like you have a tendency to act as if your view is the only correct.
No. I just want to get around to Jarvis. I want to get around to Jarvis.
Let him land, Nordin.
Let me just wrap up. And with respect to the Fulham game, I definitely agree with what Boumaier and SK have said that like the previous games, it seems like we've been in control. I think there's a way to control the game without necessarily dominating the game, quote unquote. And I have a feeling that for some United fans, even if we win the game against Fulham, if we don't quote unquote dominate, people still wouldn't be happy with all of that. So I mean, I'm not sure what we want more than 3 points, control, not conceding that many chances, which everything that we're delivering over the last 5 or 6 games. I think we're definitely going in the right direction. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. when it comes to tactics, I prefer to have patterns of play, and for us to have some similarities and recognizable things we do on the pitch every time we play. And I see improvements since, I would say, January, and we are doing better because we have more quality of the players that coming in. For me at the moment, I feel that we are a very tough team to face because we have extremes in Højlund, in Rashford, in Garnacho, and in Bruno. Extremes, and it's very tough to play against them. How are you going to play against Man United? Are you trying to dominate us, trying to attack, play with a high line? Okay, you will get punished because we have ultra fast, pacey wingers, forwards, and we have one guy on the pitch who can find the hero ball, and that's the thing. But it makes us a little bit one-dimensional. I think we should have more strings to play on, and at the moment I don't see us developing our game in a way that can improve. I think at the moment we are as good as we can be if Ten Hag don't change it up in a way. But the thing with Ten Hag is very strange, because he do subtle changes, subtle things, small things that you don't even recognize. Even when I analyze the game afterwards, I see the game always one more time, and suddenly, oh yeah, he did it. Things that I address, like last game against Luton, we had the troubles in the first half, especially with Maguire, Casemiro, and Luke Shaw. We were pressed. Luton were playing man to man, extremely high line. They had three defenders, and Bell and the Man United guy. Yeah, you're on mute, Nordin. Played almost as fullbacks, center backs, and fullbacks at the same time, and we didn't figured out a way to solve it. But actually, what Ten Hag did, he subbed Luke Shaw, he subbed Maguire, and he put on Johnny Evans. And suddenly, when we were playing out from the back, Johnny Evans did one smart thing. Every time Onana had the ball playing out from his own 6-yard line, he played it to Evans, and Evans, he dragged himself wide. And Varane dragged himself wide to the other side, because Luton had two strikers. So we split them up. And suddenly there was space in between for us to play through, and we could play out from the back. So we weren't that stressed in playing out from the back, because Evans is not better than Maguire on the ball, but he made himself more space, and he was smarter. He played with his brain. And I'm sure that's an instruction from Ten Hag to change that. That's what a subtle change in the game. And he also put Dalot and Lindelof higher up the pitch, because Luton was pressing us. Because he wanted, in the beginning, he wanted Maguire to play the ball to Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw to play the pass into the middle, but it didn't work. But people don't catch and realize small, subtle things. So Ten Hag is a good in-game manager in a way, but I would like him to be more revolutionary sometimes, and do more things to change the games. But
exactly the same thing you said, Jarvis. But I've also seen him not reacting to the changes. They're not subtle. They're specific changes. We're getting battered down one side, and he just waits. And he just waits, like the Villa game. What Aaron Ramsey was doing, and the left back was doing to us, getting behind Kobe, and what they were doing to overlapping on Diego Dalot. There was a triangle there. And how many goals we conceded this season where there's a cutback in that space just there on the 15-yard, and he's not. So I'm sorry, he can praise him, but honestly, guys, I think we fluked. My honest opinion, Manchester United have fluked the last couple of 4 results. The only half that we were in control was against Luton in the second half, because the first half, the half an hour of that game, after we scored the 2 goals, we were shambles. We were absolutely shambles.
Nuruddin, just so we're clear, we've won 6 games, and you're saying we fluked 6 consecutive victories.
Majority of those games, if the opposition could finish, we would have been out of sight.
Well, if we could finish.
Aren't you describing every football match, basically? Every football match,
I'm not.
if that team
I'm not.
finish,
I'm not. Hey, listen, here. Big up DTR01. Thanks for the super chat. He says, I think we will win, but absolutely get played off the park. they have given teams like Liverpool a heart problem for a few times. I watched the actual game that they played at Anfield. They played really well. And as I've got my cousins, some of the big Liverpool fans, they were like, wow, what they did to us. We were lucky to win that game today. So I understand this notion. I understand what's happening. But I'm not going to lie to you. The Villa game, I try to remember how many games the Villa game, no in the hell way. The chances that Villa created, if Villa play like that, and that's why majority of the Villa fans, they weren't disappointed or angry, because their team did everything but put the ball in the back of the net. They did everything. They outplayed us, played us off the park. That's what happened. They had so many clear chances. The amount of times that they were in our box comfortably holding possession compared to us, we just scored goals. And then that's what's happening. And that's what's been happening lately. Manchester United getting that early goal, and then we're playing that hold-on football and just buying a lot. And actually, I take it back. On that day, we did make a couple of blocks, even though they had clear-cut chances. Unana made a couple of decent saves. Big up to you, Adewale. Bruno's not an athlete. He does not put a tackle in. All he does is put balls over the top. So
Adewale, can I ask you, are you a City
That's
fan?
just a lie.
Are you a City fan?
No, he's not a City fan. He's a United fan.
How is he not an
sure?
athlete? He's played the most minutes in the world. How is he not an athlete? The first part of that statement is a lie.
I'm just gonna let you read Adewale, but I'm gonna ignore it.
No, they can't.
You read them.
Yeah, I mean, like, how can you say all Bruno does is spam balls over the top?
Because of the tactics. Because of the tactics, bro.
Man, I can't take anyone seriously that thinks De Bruyne is overrated. I'm going to leave it at that.
I could say that. Yeah.
He's talking about the system.
No. He said.
No,
he wasn't. He said De Bruyne is overrated. So
Yeah,
overrated and no, he's not. He's not.
No,
That's not
because he said he couldn't do it in Belgium. He said he can't do it for his national team. So he's overrated.
There it is. He says here, KDB is the man who passes the ball accuracy for position. Doesn't matter. Guy's horrible for Belgium. It's a fact. Yeah. He's not effective for Belgium. He's not.
He's much better than Bruno, but he's another one who's overrated.
Pep system allows him 100% fact. Pep system gets him the best out of him because the way that they dominate the midfield, they just win that ball and give it to him in dangerous areas. But he's another one who's okay. He says another one.
We look at the last part of that statement. Rodri and Silva are more important to that system. In Pep's side, he'd rather have Rodri and Silva. But over KDB. Injuries, he's not as injury prone. And Rodri and Silva have been running the show.
He's an amazing footballer for them.
You know, they did they did a show.
Ronaldo, Silva, and Rodri. Listen, Man City don't win if Rodri doesn't play.
Yeah, exactly. Not with KDB, so KDB might be overrated.
People think Nouri is crazy, but 100% right. We've been lucky in these past few games. But listen, I don't know. Different people see differently. So I want to go back. I go to Eskia. I go to you. Tomorrow, what do you think, Manchester United? What do you think the score's going to be? What? If you watched any Fulham games, what are players to watch out for? What dangerous players for us to watch? And who do you think is going to be match winner for Manchester United?
I'll be honest, I've not seen any Fulham this season, so I'm not going to speak too much on their team, but I just know that they're doing okay in the table. And like I said, the last 6 games, it's okay. They've scored and they've beat good teams. Like they beat Arsenal. Liverpool was a close game. They lost to Chelsea, unfortunately, and a few draws and whatever else, and they lost to Villa. But I think we're going to win 2-1, maybe 3-2. Maybe it's a 3-2. We are going to concede. Of course, we're going to concede. I wouldn't be surprised if Højlund scores again, the form he's on. I think he's fucking raring to go. I mean, you can't stop him at the moment, so he might have a say. I don't know who else might score tomorrow. Maybe just Højlund, but I think it's going to be nervy and we're going to be under pressure. But Joe, it is Nuruddin. Don't be surprised if we win tomorrow and we don't quote unquote control the game. Are you gonna continue saying this is unsustainable and we got lucky again?
Of course,
he is. Is
that a rhetorical question?
No, I want to know.
I just judge a game by game.
Okay, game by game.
I just judge a game by game. I judge a game by game. And majority of games recently that we've won, Manchester United have been lucky. Not to say. I watched some games. I think, how the fuck did we win that game? I do. Jarvis is nodding his head. I'm not alone in this. Some of the people on here are not alone in this. And by the way, people, when some of the scouting report that came back to Manchester United, when Manchester United were scouting Bruno, did say, stay away from Bruno because he gives the ball away.
True.
That's a
Look,
fact.
True.
And this
So-
is a true thing. This is a true thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I just want to know because it's like you beat fucking beat Fulham tomorrow and let's say we got 35% possession in it, yeah, and then you be there like, look at this, we ain't got thingy, blah blah blah. Let's say we fucking beat City with 30% possession though, you'd be buzzing. You won't be talking about possession and dominating games though. You wouldn't. So this is what I don't understand when people talk about dominating game. Remember Celtic Barcelona? Celtic Barcelona is the best example of anyone. Who's the best team on that night? If anyone says Barcelona, you don't know football because the scoreline was 2-1 Celtic with 11% possession. So I don't give a fuck. If you had all that possession, that just shows how shit you are. No, it just shows how shit you are. If you had 91% possession and you couldn't score 2 past Celtic, you're just shit. I'm sorry. I don't care if it was Hail Mary and from Celtic. If they've won that game, they were the better side on that night. It's just a fact.
Everybody, no, it's a fact to you. Everybody sees football differently. All I'm saying,
I agree to that.
In modern football, the top teams who dominate the game tend to win the trophies. That is a fact.
It comes down to personnel. It comes down to personnel, though.
Those teams who don't dominate the ball don't win. Now, I'm not here. I never want Manchester United to play tiki-taka. I don't want tiki-taka. What I want is, when we're under pressure, can you sustain possession? Can you hold on to the ball? Can you have triangles? Can you have patterns like Java says? Do we have a way of playing? Do we have a way of playing going, this is what's happening. We're getting transition done. Can we stop this? How can we stop this? That is what I'm interested in.
No, but like Nuruddin, we're competing with international level players, very good teams. Like they're gonna have chances. Like the teams are gonna have chances.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Okay.
I'm talking about long sustained time in the game where we are at. Come on, guys, open your eyes. You saw it in the half an hour against Luton. We were absolutely getting bopped apart.
Yeah, but like Nuruddin, remember what Bumaya said. We have to acknowledge the
let me finish, Sean, let me finish. I told I don't shout, please. Let me finish when I start, right? Let me finish and I'll let you finish. Well, Manchester United, I have never in my lifetime, as a United fan, ever seen Spurs come to Old Trafford, pop Manchester United off that park with 2 players who were at their reserves. That is unsustainable. I don't know what you have to say, but wake up and open your fucking eyes. Yeah, and it's not happening in one game. It happened in a game of Villa. Villa and Spurs have never popped Manchester United off the fucking park, but they did. That they're doing it. And other teams are doing it as well. It's not about
can I respond now?
It's about the sustained pressure which we come under.
Can I respond now, Nuruddin? I think you're creating a false choice because I would argue that Ten Hag himself doesn't plan to sustain this type of football forever. It is not his goal to play like this, left to him. And we all saw it when we had Martinez back, Luke Shaw, and the team. We played much better. We had much more control, much more domination. So, like, if you're talking about not sustainable, of course, like, no shit. Nobody intends to sustain this.
He played in the game. Martinez played in the game against Spurs when we had 30% possession. We were getting bumped around the park.
Do you know that Manchester United side at Spurs? Not the Manchester United side that we're talking about now.
It's not here anymore. Yeah.
Spurs, we're a lot better now. We're a lot better now, and it's okay to acknowledge that. Like, as a United fan, it's okay to acknowledge the incremental progress. We're not going to just overnight turn into the team that we all want us to be, but we have to acknowledge the progress that is happening. For me personally, 3 points matters to me a lot more.
That's what I'm talking about, and that's my second question. That's my question. So at this moment in time, Sean, you're not asked about performances. You're asked about results, yeah?
I am a firm believer. And
games,
my overriding football philosophy, Nuruddin, just to be clear, is that only 40% of your outcome has to do with your ability. For me, the remaining 60% is bias, confidence, how you're feeling. So 3 points breeds confidence. A confident team knows where their teammates are. That's why the connections look better. Like now between the front three, they all look better. Højlund is magically, yeah, he's finding himself in positions to score and all of that. So for me, 3 points breeds confidence. It breeds togetherness. And that to me is more important than the aesthetics of playing well. So that's my answer. 3 points.
Okay, fair play. Who have I not gone to? Mumbai, go ahead. Performance do not matter to you. You just want to win the games. Yeah. What do you think of Fulham? And what do you think United, who could be the match winners? Do you think Rasmus can continue his form? And by the way, it's still, I want to repeat this. He's had more assists from opposition players than from his own players. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's horrendous.
You laughing? But
Are you making that up? Are you making that up?
I'm not.
He's been hitting us with that for over 10 days now.
Guys, is this real?
Yeah, he's been whacking out Esk for a while now.
Well, it's been better the last 5 to 6 games, but
that's
yeah.
his go-to.
No, Jarvis. Rasmus Højlund has had more assists from opposition
players like deflections off players, wrong passes, bad passes.
Just real quick, guys. One more note on the game against Fulham. I think the most important tactical choices that Ten Hag has to make has to do with the back four. So Onana and Dalot are a given.
I agree. It's
But whoever he picks in centre back and a left back, I think are going to be the most important because the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 are given. Højlund, Garnacho, Rashford, Bruno, Kobe, Casemiro, Dalot, Onana. The remaining 3, 2 centre backs and the left back, whoever he chooses, I think will make or break the game. That's where I think the match winning or match losing is going to come from. Really.
It will affect, certainly. I just looked at the squad. Shaw's out, Malacia's out, and Wan-Bissaka's out, which means it has to be Lindelof. You know, you can't put Varane at left back. You can either put Lindelof at right back or left back by switching Dalot. That's all you can do because it's either Evans, Maguire, Varane, Lindelof, and Dalot. That's who you've got available. Nobody else. Shaw's out, Malacia's out, and so's Martinez is out.
Yeah.
And so's Wan-Bissaka. So
I saw that we brought one 16-year-old. There's a 16-year-old that's training with the squad.
Harry Armas. We fast-tracked him. Something Armas. His name is Harry Armas, I think.
Yeah, Harry Armas. Yeah, exactly. I think that's.
I would play me personally.
I wouldn't mind. You know, we've seen what Bradley has done at Liverpool. It's been good.
We're going to have to push back.
Yeah, Twitter was saying that if this was Bengal, the 16-year-old is going straight into the squad.
Oh,
if it was LVG, yeah, he's been.
I love that, man.
Love the LVG. Best manager we've had since Fergie.
No, I'd say Mourinho, then LVG.
We were going to disagree on that one.
Louis van Gaal, Army.
Yes.
Wait, I have a question for you. You like Anthony. I heard people talking about maybe playing Anthony as a left back. Do you think that will work?
No,
he has a left foot.
I would, yeah.
€100 million left back.
No, I think I respect the fact that Ten Hag is leaving his record signing out at the moment because he understands he's not playing well. I respect that. And you know what? So I have to give Erik Ten Hag credit because, you know, he was being accused of favoritism and all sorts of nonsense, which was all bullshit to me. Anthony doesn't play anymore. He doesn't see the starting lineup. He's a substitute until further notice. So I take my hat off to him. I think Sean is right. That left back position is going to be key tomorrow. Who's
going to play that tomorrow?
Well, I'll just take the easy answer and go for Lindelof. That's the most obvious one. I can't see Maguire. I mean, well, this is what the manager has to work with, unfortunately, because it's either Lindelof.
You know what I'd rather do? Play Diego Dalot left back and play.
Don't touch Dalot, Nuruddin. Don't touch Dalot. Don't touch Dalot. Leave Dalot exactly where he is.
I would do that.
It's tough that, you know, when you've got all these fullbacks out. Maybe if he plays a youngster, fine, I've got no issue with it. But that's the real difficult one. Otherwise, there's chances.
Who plays the centre back, right? Because can we trust Varane to play this game and then play the FA Cup game during the middle of the week? Do we go with Maguire and Evans because it's Old Trafford and we expect to have the ball? That's what I'm saying. That the pairing, centre back pairing and left back, going to be very crucial. On Saturday.
Be interesting to see what he does. But what are you asking me, Nuruddin? Now, you're asking me. I think I said at the beginning of this show I'm looking for incremental improvements in the football. The season started for me.
Incremental. Okay, I get that.
No, it's not. No, it's because as I said at the beginning of the show, incremental is the right word, because I understand I'm not going to be able to compare this team to the United of old. That's unrealistic. And I can't expect an overnight overhaul into this wonderful, free-flowing, fluid, beautiful football that I expect to see. What I'm looking at is, whenever you mention things that are associated with unsustainable, you and Tom and Jarvis, they're right. Everybody can see those discrepancies in our game. But what we haven't been seeing for the entirety of the season is the kind of improvements that we have seen since the season restarted for me, which was at Newport. That's when the season starts for me, at Newport. Everything else I've binned off. Because up until Newport and the players coming back and this run of results where we're actually starting to score goals and create a lot of chances and tuning into games that you're enjoying to watch. You're getting a footballing fix of sorts, whether it was a close game, you're in it, it's back and forth. It's something entertaining that you can say. We're involved in decent fixtures. Wolves, West Ham was nice. The Villa game was back and forth. We had some great chances. They had some chances. So this is how. I mean, if you go back and watch the game, and you look at if you go back and watch the Villa game, we actually had golden chances. Golden. They had one where Douglas Luiz hit one straight at Onana. We had golden opportunities as well. So I'm looking at United. I'm looking at United and seeing improvements. So I want to take those improvements. I want to nurture them and say to Eric, look, I need to keep seeing these. We need to work on these, develop these, and try and just curtail the stuff that is obvious.
Listen, 3-1-6 formation is not going to get us that. What's his bit of scorers tomorrow?
That's not the formation, Nuruddin. That's not the formation. It's not 3-1-6.
That's the formation. That's how we play. We play with a single pivot. Go ahead, everybody. Give me the score tomorrow.
I think Manchester United are gonna entertain on Saturday. I think we'll.
I hope. I pray.
I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for a 3-1. I'd go for actually an even bolder scoreline, but I do think that left back situation is a little bit of a drawback for me. I do expect to win
back situation.
This game.
It's also the way we are set up and the way teams transition on us, and they're one of the best transit teams. And by the way, the player, I remember his name now, Rodrigo Muniz, bangs in goals, scored
he's the striker. Yeah,
he's banging in goals for them.
But can I ask a quick question then?
The one you said. No. I'll come to you, Jarvis.
Yeah. All
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say on the game, when I think about how it will play itself out, Paulinho is not playing, but they will probably chuck in Iwobi. He's back again from the AFCON.
And what about the little guy? What's his name? The little gingerhead guy.
Yeah, Reed or
Reed.
Yeah, no, not the cover Reed.
No.
What position? What position?
He plays in midfield, small, short guy.
Harrison Reed. Harrison Reed. Very
good player.
But I think Iwobi will play, and the thing with Iwobi, he's a ball carrier. So every time he receives the ball, he carries the ball 15, 20 yards up the pitch. And when we play against players like him, we always come in trouble. You remember the Wolves game when you played against Nunes and Matheus Nunes and players like that. So for me, one of the key elements is stopping the ball carriers from Fulham's midfield. And another thing is
what's the left-footed guy called? He's a very good carrying the ball as well.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But somebody
listen, left foot, right foot, they're getting clarted. We're on a run. Tell him. If you don't like it, switch the channel. They're getting clarted. I'm coming on here Saturday to Billy Big Balls it. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just trying to go through how I think the game we played.
I'm not coming on Saturday.
And Iwobi. He's the key main man, I think, for us to stop. And another thing is, I'm very worried because we don't have a left back, because we know Fulham, they have a big striker who will be in the middle of our two center backs, and they will cross. They will cross from both sides, and our left back will be a weak point because we know our wingers, Rashford and Garnacho, won't help out. So they need to be strong one against one and stop those crosses. I don't think we have a good solution on the left side, especially with Lindelof, because he's too weak. He's not aggressive. He's always passive. He always like stall the players, and then he gives them an opportunity to cross. So I wouldn't play Lindelof. No, I would find another solution and figure out how to solve it. But I don't have the solution yet. I think about maybe we should start with Amrabat, because Amrabat is a little bit tougher when it comes to duels, and it's not that easy to go around. He's strong in his body, and when people try to run at him, he just like wrestle them down and stops them with his physicality. So for me, maybe Amrabat on left back will be a good choice. But stop the crosses, stop Iwobi, and then we will be good.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, very game. Go ahead, Eski. Give me your score.
No, I said before, I think we'll probably win 3-1 or 2-1. But I wanted to ask you then, innit? So we play a 3-1-6 formation this season, and we're getting run over every game. We can all see that, and I agree with you. Why last season were we not playing like that? Why has it changed now? And why can't you see it?
Because he's trying to transition to this football that he wants to do. But I'm afraid the players cannot do it. They're not following instructions. There's been player fallout. Players don't believe in the system. And I can clearly see that. I can clearly see that when I watch Manchester United on the television, and when I see all the different replays, they go gun-ho, and it's the same thing that's happening to us. Same thing that was happening to us at Galatasaray. Same thing that was happening to us at Galatasaray at home. Actually, what happened now, the players are not making the more individual mistakes, but we're still getting run over and getting dribbled. We get way lopsided, and Jarvis will tell you that we go way lopsided. Yep. And anybody who carries the ball or anybody who's good at connecting a couple of balls, they're going to murder us.
Our boys wide players are going to have to work hard tomorrow.
But guys, come on. I mean, again, I think we're overstating this problem, right? I would agree 1,000% that there are moments in the game, some crucial moments that sometimes we get punished from, where the team is overloaded in front and we get caught out. That happens. Do you know who else that happens to? Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City. Oh, many teams.
Oh my God.
Let me finish now.
Are you kidding me, Sean?
Oh my God.
Let me finish.
Let me finish. So I agree that happens sometimes, but to my mind, that's something that happens once in a while in football, because footballers are human beings, not robots, who sometimes get carried away, who sometimes forget themselves. I think in the last 6 or 7 games, that has improved significantly, although it's not perfect. It has improved significantly. I'm actually confident going into this game. I would love nothing more than for Nuridi to come and say again, this is another lucky win, and we were lucky, and it's 3 points we're talking about. I would love nothing more than for that to be the case. And actually, I think that we are due. Somebody is due a thrashing. Somebody's going to collect from us very soon, and I hope it's Fulham. Because it could have been Nottingham Forest if not for the profligacy of Bruno and
I want Dino to come on here and absolutely.
By the way, their away record this season has been abysmal. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, like, let's say we fluke our next 10 wins, innit? Like, would you be happy or not?
Say that again?
If we fluked our next 10 wins, in your mind, we're fluking games. If we fluked
what kind of fluke is that? A 10 point. That's what I'm trying to get
at. I want to know what number is it not a fluke? So here's 6 in a row. What number is it not a fluke in your opinion?
Listen, the biggest thing for me is this, Eski.
Go on.
Football that is not sustainable, you can't build a style onto, because you can't fake it. Remember with Ollie, one thing what we had is that we were scoring goals. We would go on these great runs. Remember with Ollie, We will go on
counter-attacking
these great
team.
runs,
Yeah.
and then we will go on these horrendous runs because it's not built on a system. It's not, for example, right? When you play football, when I play Saturday, Sunday league, I'm not going to lie to you. Regardless of the team that we played against, we knew there was a pattern, and Jarvis played midfield. I think he played midfield, Jarvis.
Yeah.
We had a moment where the other team's getting on top. There was the plan. This is what we were going to do. Basically, the basics. Keep it to one touch. Move the ball a bit more quicker. Support each other. Everybody tucks in. 10
So
yards.
are you saying Ten Hag doesn't have a plan?
Say that again?
Are you saying Ten Hag doesn't have a plan?
No, because I see too much. For them to be sustained plan, I see too much of the basketballification.
Let me ask you a couple of questions, Nuruddin.
Being exposed again and again after game after game.
Let me ask you one question, Nuruddin. As a United fan who has watched Ten Hag for 2 seasons, do you know what he wants from his striker, his wing backs, his keeper, his centre backs, and his wingers? Can you identify everybody else on the panel? Do we know what Ten Hag wants from this? Because the answer is yes. We know what he wants.
I can tell you, yeah. He basically wants the 2 centre half to split. He wants the full backs to play inverted. He wants the wingers to go out wide, right? And then he leaves the single pivot and tells the 2 number 8s or whatever 10 to go up and support the striker. But unfortunately, that's what he has in his mind. What we see and what we've seen this season is being absolutely trash.
So follow-up question.
Listen, let me say
something.
We played Newport.
Does it look better? Does it look better with Martinez?
You asked me a question. Let me finish. You asked me a question.
Okay.
I saw Newport in League 2 absolutely ball us in periods of the game. And that football is not sustainable. So the point what I was making about us playing Saturday and Sunday league in the lower amateur, not even below amateur level, was that in the tough moments in the game, we knew how to stop the bleeding. At this country of Manchester United, I still see that we're getting dominated.
But that has to do with leaders on the pitch.
Game, and the idea that you suggested before is laughable, Sean, because you said it might happen to Liverpool or Arsenal, maybe once or twice in 20 or 15 games. At Manchester United, it happens 3 or 4 times a game.
That's that's a bad thing. Like, that's a problem. That's not what Ten Hag wants to sustain. The work he's doing is to fix that problem, which is why he's now playing a more conservative, almost like a double pivot with Mino and Casemiro.
It's not a double pivot.
It's not double, but it's not an isolated single pivot either. I don't Jarvis. But I think Jarvis wants to jump in.
Yeah. I just want to say, when it comes, we are talking about this and Ten Hag, but for me, there's several things. But basically, I mentioned this before. It's about timing. It's about timing the attacks, because when you see other teams, especially the best team of this is Manchester City. They have Rodri, and every time he has the ball, he puts in something that's called in footballing language, they call it la pausa, or a pause. He pauses with the ball to give the other teammates the time to come in position. And then you attack. And even if you try a creative pass and you lose the ball, everybody is in position, and then you can do what they talk about, gegenpress or counter press, because then you can win the ball easier. But for us, we are not timing the attacks. We never take the pausa with Bruno. We never take the pausa. So when we try to counter press, we are easily found out, because we only counter press with 2 guys.
Jarvis, move the ball.
No. But Jarvis and Nuruddin, before
this is the problem with the timing of Ten Hag's team. So we need everybody screaming out for a regista like Frankie de Jong, someone who can take down the ball. But we see it's better now. We have Menu, because he's a little bit like a regista. He times the pass and gives people time to come into position. And this is mainly one of the reasons why we have been better for the 5 to 6 last games. It's better, but it's not optimal, because we need better ball players, better quality.
Would you say, Jarvis, let's say in the summer we got Frankie de Jong, would Ten Hag's system work more efficiently? Would we be getting battered 20 shots a game, in your opinion? If we had a register like Frankie de Jong, is his system, quote unquote, complete?
No, it's not complete, but it's better. It's better because it's about timing. For me, it's the timing of the attack.
Eski, I would say yes to that, because I think Again, I think what Nuruddin is complaining about has to do with leadership on the pitch, has to do with players themselves taking responsibility for following instructions, and also having, like Fergie did, having lieutenants on the pitch who are willing to hold their other teammates accountable. Not like Bruno, who's always crying, but people like Martinez, people like Casemiro on the pitch who are willing to call each other out, argue, play by example, lead by example. That's what is missing in the team. And for me, that's a character problem. That comes with winning more games. That comes with like the manager being more ruthless in his decision making and all of that. But it's slowly going to improve. I don't think Ten Hag plans to maintain this unsustainable style of play. And it's obvious that when Martinez comes back, we look 5 times better, like ridiculously, so much better.
Yeah.
You guys are also
we
acknowledging
look
on
better
the same
on the
stream.
ball, Sean. Let me say this: we look better on the ball, but
and if you hold the ball much,
our possession, we still look disjointed. We still look like we're lopsided, and teams can counter press us, and then our 2 centre halves are left exposed. Because
there would never ever be a time where teams cannot counter press us. The best games that we had under Ole, are games that we considered possession. They were the games against Man City, the games against PSG. Those are the best games that Ole played. And those games, we controlled the games, even though we didn't have any possession. We controlled it because we defended well, we attacked when we should have, and we hit them on the counter in precise and very lethal manners. That is an acceptable style of football to me, in my opinion. Personally, that's an acceptable style of football to me. That's what made me fall in love with Real Madrid as well. And I don't need to dominate the ball. Like, you can have a chance. Have your chance. You try and score, but when I try and score, I will score more goals than you. That's okay too.
Okay, so I think United will win tomorrow, most likely. Unless Fulham turn on, because they're a team that helps.
That's the jinx now. That's the jinx.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. They're a team that like helter skelter. One week they play fantastic football and they'll rip you apart. The other week they can't even string a couple of passes together. They are that. I've got a friend who's a big Fulham fan. He says this is the most frustrating thing about them. Luckily for United, their away record this season has been not that great. There's not that great. Fulham have just won 24% of their Premier League away points this season, 7 points out of possible 29. The lowest ratio in the division since beating Everton in their opening game of the season. The Coaches are without win in 11 games on the road, drawing 4, losing 7. Right? And I expect Højlund to continue his good run and form. But one thing I would say, Manchester United have been giving chances away. Please watch out for Rodrigo Muniz. Is fit tomorrow. He scored last 3 Premier League games, netting 4 out of Fulham's 6 goals in total before this run. He only had 23 league games without a goal. So he is banging in goals. One thing this season I would say about Fulham is that they're full of goals. They've scored, like I said, in more than one occasion, they've scored 5. They've scored 4 or 5 in certain games. So they are, to me. And we'll be back on Saturday night on this channel talking about it. So the Giddy FC, Bumbaye, the chairman, the co-founder of Giddy FC, he will have to answer for Manchester when we get if we get smashed. You'll be on here.
But now that you think we'll win, I'm scared. Like now that you think we're going to win.
I'm only saying that because of their away record. They've drawn 4 and lost 7. Their away this season away from home have been abysmal. Their best results have come at home.
Can I ask you a question?
That doesn't give me confidence because I feel like every bad record that could have been broken by United has been broken. Everybody who hasn't beaten us in the last 700 years, everyone who it's at Old Trafford, it's against United that they always break that record. So yeah, now you made me concerned.
If they play like the way they played last season in the FA Cup before that 3 minutes of madness, remember the 3 minutes of madness last season in the FA Cup?
Yeah, red card.
If they play that football, they're gonna win. I'm telling you now, they're gonna win because we're gonna and that was last season when we had loads of confidence. Remember last season we had an amazing record at Old Trafford, and they had the game in their hands. They just exploded
right away. I was at that game.
Yeah.
Exploded
3 minutes. They had 2 red cards. and a ref and the manager was sent off.
And it was over. The game was done. Yeah.
Yeah, they imploded.
Mm.
Because that honestly, they were by far the better team.
Yeah, they were that day. They were. Yeah,
They were. So if anything to go by that, all I know is that they've got dangerous players. They've got people who can score goals. They are very good on a transition. They're very direct, and they've got guys who can shoot.
But we've
When
got Rasmus.
when was the last time you've been confident going into a game with this manager, Nuruddin?
Well, I think Z Gold has answered that question. Yeah, he says a Division 50 side could come to us, and Dino would predict a win for them.
Listen, last time I was confident was before it was between
Fergie.
It was between November. Listen, it was between October. Let me finish. Between October and November, and December at Old Trafford before the World Cup. It was between September and October. Right, between October and December before we set up for the World Cup. I was confident because I was going to the stadium most games. We had the most cup draws we ever had in Manchester United history.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was seeing it, and I was confident because of the home record. Manchester United, even if we didn't play well, we would find a way to win. And I was very confident because the team there was a togetherness, but I was warning about the burnout. I was on this channel talking about the burnout, and after January, I come on here and I said to everybody, this football is not sustainable. And it's continued into the new season.
Dino, do you think we're still suffering burnout now? I think that's behind us, to be honest.
No. At the beginning of the season.
No, now.
No.
Today.
No, we've got bigger problems, Mumbai.
I'm saying we can't go back. Burnout at the beginning of the season, I understand that. It was a carryover from last year. But at this point of the season now, I don't think we can put things down to burnout.
Listen, they've had loads of rest. Listen, and we're only playing one a week.
One a week.
We're not in 4 competitions like we were last season, were we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were not.
Yeah, but I definitely think that these players have never seen the type of intensity that Ten Hag has brought. That's part of what is affecting them.
But I don't think they're playing with that level of intensity either. Last season they did, and I was coming on here as before every game going, if Manchester United don't play with the intensity and that aggression, because that's what Ten Hag's demanding, I stopped saying that. Have you noticed the last 10 games I stopped saying that? Because why? Because I don't
so sometimes, Sean, you know what? We are asleep, bro. We lack that intensity, to be honest. And that's the worry.
No, we do, but I don't think that's a Ten Hag thing. I think that's a personnel thing. That has to do with the fact that Rashford is a celebrity. He's a chairman. He cannot really run too much.
Bro, look, Sean, I am somewhere in the middle between the positive and the negative, because the negative that, for example, Structure's saying and Jarvis alluded to, these things exist for us to see them. They do. We can all agree that every United fan understands.
No, you can't. We're on fire. We're on fire. We're playing sensitive.
Do you know what you do?
Nobody's saying that.
Do you know what you do? You want to draw.
Yeah, I have a question for the panel. We only play one game a week, but we see every game there's 2 players that always run themselves down to the bone. That's Garnacho and Højlund, and those are 2 very young players, and they always they have no energy left when they are subbed. And we are doing this week after week after week. Now it will be like the 5th week in a row where we will see them probably getting run down. Do you think it's a good way to introduce young players like those to the Premier League, or will we see injuries and burnouts on them if we continue this?
Jarvis, what's the options that you have with Martial is out? We have 1 striker at this club. Sancho is not there. Anthony's dreadful. So either you put Marcus in the central
again,
and you bring back, and then he brings Ahmad in, which I don't mind with Garnacho. But one of the issues with this United team, when you really look at this team, Manchester United's trio, we've got 2 babies in there, and we're trying to get top 4 against really strong teams with experience. Our front line is Rashford at 25, who is experienced. He's not a kid. But Garnacho is 19. Højlund just turned 21. And this is why they get extra credit that an ordinary player might not get. And this is why I'm careful with the criticism. Although Garnacho does frustrate me, these are babies leading the line of Manchester United every single week.
I'm sorry, Bumbai, but not even that. For me, Rasmus Højlund is playing with his football career, because the way we hoof the ball to him and go fight, that's not sustainable. That's not how a striker should be able to reserve. Hold up the ball. He should be able to reserve his energy. He comes off every time exhausted beyond means.
It does. But look, sustainability that you speak about is not wrong, but you have to have you've bought a striker. Ten Hag's spoken about. I bought the character, the personality of Højlund. I know what he's willing to do. I know the maturity of him. This was there was an interview between him and Højlund after the Luton game, an extended one on the side with Redknapp and the usual. And he said, that's why I bought him. Højlund, man, is doing the type of things that we would love strikers that we've had before to do. And it's difficult.
I'm sorry, Bombay. What we should be doing, but that's the one thing that just sums up everything the way we are run as a football club. He should be coming on in certain games. Play 3 games. The next 3 games just come on in games and do half an hour here, 20 minutes here. That's what, and the same thing would be happening to the managing of Garnacho.
Well, you know, he's taken him off. He's took him off a few times at 60 minutes. You know,
Eric Ten Hag doesn't believe that. Eric Ten Hag doesn't believe that. He believes the patterns and rhythms. Basically, hoofball, counter-attack football. That's what he believes. Jarvis, answer your own question.
No. Let me answer Jarvis real quick, right? Couple of things. One, there are different types of strikers.
Hurry up, Sean. Hurry up.
Yeah. There are different types of strikers.
We're not having Jarvis having a late night again.
Some strikers are foxes in the box, like Haaland, Roy. Some strikers are fighters, the DJ Drogba type. I think Højlund is like a quality version of, like, Højlund is a hybrid of the Drogba type and the fox in the box type. That's my own perception. I think your question, Jarvis, can only be answered after the fact, right? It can only be answered after we can look back at their careers and see what happened. Because I think there are many players who started very young, went straight into the team and had wonderful careers, whereas there are some players who were very young, went into the team, and that affected them. So I think with the right team around them, the right nutrition, the right management, the right characters around them also. So don't go out clubbing, don't waste your life, don't waste all your money, all kind of things. With the right characters, I think these guys can continue like this for a long time.
Yeah, I agree. Look at players like Zlatan, look at Giroud. There are some players out there, they're extraordinary players in it. But what I'm saying from Højlund is he looks like a top guy. He looks like his mentality wants to play for this club. You look at him and you look at guys like Eric Cantona, like Keane, like Beckham. These guys, they're like, I play for Garnacho. I play for United. I want to prove it. This is what I am. This is who I'm here. So I think he's got the mentality for it. Everything else comes down to him personally, the team around him, the structure, but him himself as a person, as a human being, as a footballer, he's got it in spades. Everything else now is experience and comes with, does he want it enough? And a lot of it is luck. Let's be honest, Nuruddin. Any football player that makes it at the top level, there's an element of luck there. No one does it. It's merits, of course, but you got to get lucky at times, man. Look at Rashford, how he got his chance. Rashford doesn't get his chance in the first team if 2 strikers, unluckily for them, luckily for him, pull out injured, and then he gets his chance. So that's what it is. So we all know that story.
And the rest is
listen, it's also an element when you get your chance about hard work. But honestly, I totally agree with Jarvis. To me, burnout is real because the game is a lot faster than it was 10, 15 years ago. The game
and longer and more intense.
More demands on the body. And the why Manchester United injuries for me is another thing, but we'll leave it for the topic for another time. But big up to everybody. Love and light. It's been over 100 of you in here, and we haven't even got 100 likes. It's a disgrace. You're a disgrace. The channel is shadow banned. The channel is shadow banned. The channel is just subscribing people. We are silenced because we stand up for the Palestinians. Shame on fucking Starmer. Shame on the Labour Party. Big up the SNP for trying to bring a motion to go for immediate ceasefire. And fuck that prick, the Speaker of the House, who's a fucking hardened Zionist, who is now bringing it out and saying anybody who protests for Palestine is a maniac, Islamic terrorist, and that's why MPs are scared. No, members of parliament in this country, the public has a right to tell them that you represent me locally and you represent us, this area, in parliament. We want you to vote for a ceasefire. That is not intimidation. That is not an insult. That is not criminal. Peaceful protest of local MPs is not Islamic terrorism. It is a fucking Islamophobic and racist, because most Muslims in this country are not blonde hair, blue-eyed white people. That's why it's racist, because majority of Muslims in this country are black and brown. So shame on you, the political class. Shame on you, the media class, for the racism, for the Islamophobia. And not everybody comes out and attends the protest are Muslim. There are people who are atheists. There are people who are the LGBT community. There are people who just want to say, stop the bloodshed, stop this genocide. And that's what you choose to frame it as. And always Malcolm X said, media is the most important entity, because it will have you believing the guilty, it's innocent, while the innocent is guilty. And that's why we reject these Islamophobe, racist people. But free Palestine, fuck Zionism, and fuck you, the political elites and establishment of the UK. Big up, everybody. We'll catch you on this one. We will catch you on the
after the game.
Hey, listen, also big up MUFC, Realist TV, free Julian Assange. That's for real.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a precedent. A guy that told the truth is being destroyed for telling the truth. Where has journalism gone?
Yeah, well, that just shows you. That just shows you the hypocrisy. The West are all going, oh, Natalie's been killed by Putin. So why are you murdering and torturing, right, by locking him up all these years for publishing the truth about Western war crimes and genocides carried out in Iraq and all across the Middle East?
Specifically on Assange, I would just add that it's a little bit more complicated than that. And even if it's the truth, it's still a crime to access and or disseminate certain state secrets.
No, John, no.
This is not the forum. This is not the forum. This is not the forum. Yeah.
Listen, but you gotta give Sean. I think Sean is trying to keep his green card in the US. So
yeah, fair enough.
No, I'm a citizen now, so I'm a citizen now, so I'm free to say what I want.
I like Sean. I have time for Sean, but I want him to stay in the States with that kind of chat. Stay there, get the green card.
Yeah, no, I just know that, like, the way I see things, and a lot of that is covered in the podcast and the way we cover politics and all that kind of stuff. Right? I just think it's a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more complicated.
They got caught with their pants down in front of the whole world, and what they did was criminal.
No, but
and a journalist has to expose that.
Let me give you a way of thinking about it, right? If a policeman, a copper in the UK or whatever, if he commits a crime, and in the process of that crime uncovers the crime, so if he suspects you of stealing or possessing drugs, and he breaks into your house to get those drugs, that case is inadmissible because he committed a crime in the process of, prosecuting or finding out what you did.
He did not commit any crime, Sean. The only
what
crime
did Julian Assange commit?
That's what I'm saying. It is a crime to disseminate certain.
It's a crime Sean. It's a crime to disseminate, as you use this word, that kind of information to the world to know the truth, because it is against. Because it is against people that don't want to be caught. And that people are those bastards that make the laws.
He's not going to bed late.
Jarvis needs to go to bed.
We're leaving it here. But I want to say this. Jarvis Cocker Bowley 77. Sean Thomas, go and check out his political geopolitical podcast, How We See Things. Eski and Bombay, you'll never see them on social media. And if you want to give us a follow on Twitter, there you go. That guy, Red Devil, Mr. Structure. But it's been a love and light. Free Assange. And for the first time ever, well done. The Australian public have pressured their politicians, and the vote was there unanimous, 84 to 44 against, to say bring him home. take Julian Assange home to Australia. That's what needs to be done. His family, his wife, his kids, his brother, all of them are there waiting for him. This guy did not commit a crime. He told the truth about the real criminals in the world. Murderers, baby killers, genociders. That's what's happened. Love and light. Sean, I'm glad you got that citizenship. Keep it. You have to say what you have to say to keep the citizenship. You know your boy Trump is coming on.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying, right? I actually believe what I'm saying, and there's no incentive for me to do it. I'm sympathetic to the view that what Assange.
Sean, who's that? Is somebody knocking on your door? I hear a knock.
Nope, no one is knocking on my door. I just think that I think that you can separate the ethics or the morality of a thing from the legality. I think as a principle you can't.
The legality is made to stamp on the morality and the ethics. That's why
that's a subject for philosophy 201 in university to discuss, to debate the boundaries of the law and morals and all that kind of stuff. You can debate that, right?
Fair enough.
But yeah,
in this one, Jarvis, sweet dreams, talking.
Thank you.
Keep warm. Peace.
Peace, guys. Bye, everyone.
Good to see you. Good to hear you. Lovely, lively debate. Take care, people. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this tomorrow. Manchester United, Fulham. Who's gonna win? Peace, love, light. Take care, people. Good night.
Good night.
Gute Nacht.